Shalom Israel, it's your boy New Breed coming through with another video. In this particular video, I would like to react to Ice Cube's latest Instagram post. And in this particular post, he shared a lot of my same sentiments. He spoke on some of the same issues that I've been speaking on for a number of months now. And he dropped a lot of jewels. And I want to add my commentary to what he said and drop even more jewels. He spoke in regards to the political realm. He spoke on certain issues in regards to the black community. Now, I use that word black very loosely because black is just a color and not a nationality. And, not too many celebrities are addressing the core issues within our community. So I do salute the brother for being concerned enough to actually speak on certain issues. But I'm going to definitely share my commentary to this particular live stream he did. And, it had to take him some courage because he also put hashtag don't kill the messenger. Because, a lot of people get sensitive with their politics. And a lot of people get sensitive to what, they were taught and how the world actually works. But let me go ahead and play this and add to it here.
You already know how I get down. Over the last few months, I've been really going deep into this political space. Reading a lot of history, trying to understand how systems work, not getting caught up in anybody's rhetoric, but looking for my damn self.
Hey, let me just point out how important that is to study for yourself. A lot of people have opinions, and typically when somebody is given their take on something and sharing their rhetoric in regards to something, they're usually going to sway you on one side or another. So it's important to fact check everything that you hear, even if you are listening to someone. Fact check everything. Even the Holy Bible tells you to study to show yourself approved. And you never know, that person who's giving that information that may or may not be false, if they are false, you can correct them. They may not even know that they got invalid information. So it's important to really study on your own.
And just trying to figure out why we continue to flounder at the bottom. What is it? And what I found is that it's systems in place, as we all know. It ain't cause, we ain't doing what we supposed to do as black people, because of course we all can do better. There's shit that we need to do to clean up ourselves and our community, but.
Now let me stop that right there. Now this is the part where I'm going to be a little bit, I'm going to criticize just a little bit, all right? Because I, for one, believe that our issue is solely based on us. I believe that we are kings and queens. I believe that we are greatness. And I believe that if we can deal with each other from the inside out and actually come up with a code of conduct to live by within ourselves, I believe that we can rise to the top and no longer flounder at the bottom. And being a Bible believer, the scriptures share the same exact sentiments. In Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it tells us that we will fall and be at the bottom. We will be the tail and not the head, based on the fact that we didn't honor the rules and regulations that the Most High God put for us to follow. It was a promise that we would be cursed if we didn't follow those rules. So in any organization, I don't care if it's the mob, I don't care if it's white supremacists, I don't care if it's the government, everybody has to have rules of engagement to proceed to rise to the top. You always have to have rules, and I feel like that's what our people is lacking, rules and regulations. And we're so great when we're left alone. You can see how we rise, how we are proficient. And even if you look at Black Wall Street, when we're quote unquote segregated and we're getting along and we're on one accord, things can be beautiful among us. So I think we should gear our focus on the inside of our communities. That's just my take on it, but still, let me allow the brother to speak.
Besides that shit, the system is fucked up.
But let me also say this. There is systems in place, but these systems that were put in place would have never been able to be put in place if we didn't fall. You understand? So it has to be a certain level of accountability within the Black community. If we're going to support each other, if we're going to actually come together, we have to take accountability even for the sins of our ancestors. You know, even, you know, for my great grandfathers and grandmothers, the mistakes they may have made, we got to take responsibility for that if we're going to right this wrong within our communities. But let me continue here.
It's just designed totally. And not only designed, but there's a dedication to keeping us at the bottom of this country.
And that is absolutely true. There are people who are dedicated, driven solely to make sure we stay at the bottom. And the way they do it is by keeping us from being enlightened, keeping us from being awakened to the truth.
And I don't know if we can count on any parties to get us out the shit, to be honest.
Now that was a jewel right there. He said, I don't know if we can count on any parties to get us out of this situation. And that's what I've been saying the last few months. I've been pushing that heavy because it seems like right around election time, our people want to put our trust in man. We want to go cast our votes. But listen, they are not going to get us out of this situation. It's got to be done internally. Let's continue.
So we are going to have to do a lot of things different as a Black community. We have to pool our resources. We have to think about ourselves.
He said we're going to have to do a lot of things different in the Black community. We're going to have to pull our resources and do a lot of things ourselves. Man, that is just the absolute truth. And not too many celebrities are saying this. Most celebrities are trying to get you to vote. But this brother is telling you right now, he don't believe either party is going to help us in the situation. That we're going to have to put our resources together. That's the same thing that I've been speaking for months now. For months now. Like, you know, it is so important to support one another. It is so important to invest in your interest. Like, people don't understand, when you invest in your interest, if you support your people and you have resources that you can add, I mean, we could come together and actually build something. This is the talking points that should be the number one talking point in our community, is building among each other. That should be the number one talking point at this current moment, especially with us being on the brink of food shortages. You would think that sharing among each other would be number one priority right now. You would think that that's what every quote-unquote conscious brother is talking about. You would think that that would be every spiritual brother, every church. You would think that they would be talking about coming together and sharing our resources, but they're not. So I have to salute Ice Cube for saying this, because we are going to have to do things different. He can clearly see that there's something on the horizon where we're going to be forced to deal with each other. Listen, you can't deal on a system that can stop food trucks from running in. We got to become more self-reliant. It's just the truth. Let's continue this.
We love all the other races of the world, but at some point we got to figure out how do we get ahead, because everybody's on top of us but us, or everybody's on top of us. And Shit ain't gonna work. We ain't gonna survive this the way it's going.
He said it ain't gonna work. We are not going to survive this the way it's going. That's the absolute truth. You know, you could worry of, listen, like he said, we love all races of people. There's no racism here. You got to understand, most races support each other. In our community, we're not supporting each other. So when brothers are speaking directly to their community, telling them, listen, we got to support each other, it is out of sheer survival. And when you look at how systems work, that is how people survive. This is how every race of people survive. They build with among each other. The Asians, the Arabics, everybody build among each other. They purchase shops, they get loans, they make sure they pass everything down, they keep it within the confines of their families and their bloodlines. This is how they remain up top. This is how they survive. So when he studied how systems work and how people stay on top, he realizes that without us supporting each other, we will not survive. It's just that simple. Let's continue.
It's just designed that I can't see the future. So we gotta change this shit. Everybody's been mad at me because I haven't been on the fucking, the gravy train of these candidates, especially Joe Biden and Harris. I don't trust none of them. No president has done right by us. So I don't trust
My sentiments exact.
none of them. So putting our hopes and dreams behind any of them just don't work. We gotta make them do what we want them to do.
He's speaking of facts. Putting all your hopes and dreams in them, and these politicians, it don't work. We got to do what it do. Listen, anytime a politician's mouth is moving, they lying. I can't say that no clearer. Every time they talking, they lying. And when you invest your energy in these people, you are saying that these people can be the savior of your people. They can fix your community. You got your hands on what could you do for us? And every time they give you nothing, handful of lint, pocket full of lint, and you remain at the bottom. As a whole, your people stay at the bottom.
There's only a few ways to do that. Now, I've been making contacts, trying to, talk about these real issues, straight up, I believe the Democrats they've been nice, they've been cordial, so to speak. I don't really see them pushing their policies in any different direction. They're still talking this minority, people of color shit that don't necessarily include us, that don't necessarily include.
Exactly. That's something that we all got to understand. When it comes to so-called minorities, y'all got to understand how many different demographics of people have inherited the title minority. So when you hear the Democrats talking about they're going to do this for the minorities, that for the minorities, that can include the LGBT, that can include single women, that can include every other race, that's not quote unquote white. That could be minorities. So, you really got to do your research on what they're actually projecting to you. And of course, they're going to be cordial with us because they want your vote. Of course, they're going to be nice and friendly, somewhat overly friendly to the point where it becomes pandering, But all in all, when they talk about minorities, what you see happening, whatever type of policies they're trying to push on us and whatever type of legislation that they're claiming is in our benefit is not technically going to us. It's going to other minorities. So that was a jewel he just dropped.
Black Americans, especially descendants of slaves.
Especially descendants of slaves. Let's go back a little bit right there.
Democrats they've been nice, they've been cordial, so to speak. I don't really see them pushing their policies in any different direction. They're still talking this minority, people of color shit that don't necessarily include us, that don't necessarily include Black Americans, especially descendants of slaves. ADOS, American descendants of slaves,
So the minorities don't necessarily include, more than likely don't include, the descendants of slaves. The people who actually need legislation passed on our behalf. The people who need loans. The people who need stimulus checks. It's ironic that this country can cut stimulus checks for the entire country, practically the entire country, and they could do it, at a snap of a finger. But the people who actually built this country from the ground up, the slaves, the aboriginals, and the people who have been downtrodden, and the people who are pretty much 400 years behind, you don't give them anything. And that's just, and I'm not begging, I'm not asking, because I don't expect them to do anything. I don't expect to come to my enemy's land, have to serve here. I don't expect to have fair treatment. I don't expect that. I don't expect somebody to be ruling up top and bring people to serve them and make them equal to them. I don't expect that. That's unrealistic. But what I do expect is our people to get it right, so we can come together and do things on our own. That's what I hope and pray for.
That ain't specifically us, it's everybody. We ain't gonna get shit. Because when you look around, everybody hates us. So we still at the bottom of that. I think the Democrats, they got every black celebrity and shit on their team, so they just figure,
Oh man, he dropping jewels. He said the Democrats got every black celebrity on their team. Here you got Cardi B being used and manipulated, and the list goes on. I mean, you got all of these people. I'm not going to, just drop a bunch of names, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of these celebrities who's on the side of the Democratic Party being used. Again, they believe that we can't think for ourselves. They believe that we view celebrities as actual leaders in our community. And we don't. We don't view celebrities as actual leaders in our community. Every other race, every other nationality of people have real leadership. They have real spokesmen. They have real doctors. They have real historians. They have real politicians. They have real reverends and pastors. But they expect us to be pandered by Cardi B. They expect us to be pandered by these celebrities and these rappers and all of that. No. This brother's dropping some truth, man.
Tell Q to shut the fuck up and vote. And so, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna push the program. We got a program, I'm pushing it on everybody. We also met with the Republicans and shit. They brought us in. We talked to them. They've moved their agenda a lot because of what we said. They put $500 billion on the table. And, but who knows? Who knows what's gonna really happen?
And you gotta.
I just know one of them gonna win.
You gotta respect what Ice Cube is doing. You got to respect that. This is how kings deal with things, man. They deal with it by meeting with these political parties, because these political parties know that these celebrities have influence, and they want those followers to vote on one side or another. So what Cube did was meet up with both political parties, and he's sharing his opinion. He said the Republicans, they changed some things up. They put $500 million on the table. But he don't know if they gonna really do that. He's telling you right now, I don't trust none of them. I don't trust what they're going to do. Every time politicians' lips are moving, they're lying. So he's warning the people that we got to do things differently among ourselves, man.
And I don't know if it can really matter to us. We got to just push whoever is in there, because ain't nobody really solved our problems. You know, people say we can't take another 4 years of this. Black people, we can take anything. Shit.
He real with that. He said people said we can't take another 4 years of this. Listen, we some of the most resilient people on the face of this earth. We've been through it all. Only thing that's going to happen with more pressure that's added to us, you're going to make diamond and gold. You're going to make diamonds and gold the more pressure you put on us. You're going to, I mean, you know, the beast system is working against us, but it's also grooming us to become great. And that's the way we should be looking at this. Regardless of who they put in the damn office, it's not going to matter. Those who are chosen, those who are elected, those who are willing to compromise their own personal feelings and their own personal ideologies and beliefs and actually come together and have these very real conversations. Because we got to find a code of conduct to live by. The brothers and sisters who are willing to do that, those are the brothers and sisters who are going to maintain and survive. But it is what it is. Let's finish this one off.
I mean, Joe Biden, you know, the Democrats, I believe they owe us. Will they do right by us at the end of the day? Who knows? You know, I think the plan they have is you know, they're doing a lot when it comes to safety and police and all this shit, but you know, that dough is thin. Everybody money is thin. I mean, we're not gonna get no respect in this country without the cash. We ain't gonna get no respect in this country without having money.
That's just a real deal. You're not going to get respect in this country without having the money. There's a huge deficit between black wealth and quote unquote everybody else, you know. And it's interesting because there's a lot of misdirected funds, and money can be a defense. The Bible even tell you money can be a defense. And with such a deficit, the power is shifted. And then, you know, there's something else I wanted to point out. We have black billionaires. We have black millionaires. But they're not doing a damn thing for our community. We got your Oprah Winfrey's. We got your Michael Jordans. We got all these people. And they're not forming no type of political party for us. They're not doing a damn thing. You understand? They're all under this. They're under something, you know, some kind of oath that they took to not help their people. I mean, it's clear and it's evident. At the very least, if you don't want to help financially, speak up. I mean, I believe that a lot of these people of age or stature who've had money for a long time, they gotta have a lot of knowledge to what's going on. They gotta have a lot of wisdom and insight to what's going on in the world that can help the people. But you don't even see them doing that part. But, you know, Ice Cube is doing that part. So I respect him.
In our community, it just ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So, everybody can be mad at me, pissed off at me. You know, I don't give, you know, hey, y'all know what it is. I'm trying to get to the truth. I ain't about to be part of nobody program. Ain't nobody gonna, you know, get me to back down. And if y'all don't want to hear the truth, then that's your, you know, it's kind of a personal problem. Because I'm going to keep spitting it how I see it. You know, and I think the problem is we're a little too one-sided, and we need to hold everybody to the fire and make sure everybody do what they're supposed to do when it comes to black people. Not get caught up in a whole lot of white people business. Need to worry about our own, what's going on with us. And then when we get what we gotta get, then we'll, welcome everybody. But we gotta make a decision, and we gotta push people to do something big, and do it right now.
Man. Yeah, that brother just earned my respect. Because you gotta look at it. This brother, his family has to be well off. Ice Cube saying what he's saying is not really, benefiting him. To be honest with you. It's probably creating more enemies than anything. But he's saying it because it's the truth. A sentiment that I've been sharing for months now. If you go back and look at my video called It's Time to Give Up on the American Dream, I was saying a lot of the same things that Ice Cube is saying. Like, we really got to start to deal with each other. He said, look, it's time to do something big. It really is. It's time to do something big. This type of video right here, y'all need to make this video go viral. Y'all need to share this video. Move this video around, fluctuate it, because our people need to hear this. You understand? And I feel like the brother, he just condescended to the lowest level. Spoke a language that we all should be able to understand. It's all on us, y'all. We got to get this thing right. It just is what it is. Hopefully this video helps you out in your walk and your journey. If it did, mash the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Turn all post notifications on so you can get videos as they're being uploaded. If you would like exclusive, raw, uncut content, the link to my Patreon will be in the description box. Show your support. Support your people. Thank y'all for watching. With that being said, shalom and peace.